Welcome to Rajiv Rao Accounts. Today, let's see our first problem for BRS. In other words, your bank reconciliation statement. First problem. I have given the problem in the description. So before we take up the problem, I want you people to go through that particular problem in the description so that you can understand my problem in a correct manner. See, the first problem reads something like this. See, whenever we are doing BRS there, okay, our ruling will be something of this particular type. Here, this is the particulars, whereas this is the inner column, outer column for writing amounts. This BRS will be prepared as on one specific date. So our title will be Bank Reconciliation Statement as on one specific date. Okay. So in the problem, he will be giving us on which date we are doing the BRS. So that particular date we are going to write it here. Okay. So we are doing the BRS on 31st March 1988. Okay, I want you people to follow this problem clearly because this is the first problem we are doing. See, checks have been issued. See, whenever we are starting the BRS there, first we will be starting with the balance as per cash book. Okay, if we start the problem with balance as per cash book, we will get balance as per passbook as our answer. If we start with balance as per passbook, balance as per cash book will be our answer. Okay, so this particular problem, if you see right from the top, what it says on 31st March 1998. On 31st March 1998, that is on the date we are doing the BRS. Cash book of a firm showed a bank balance of 3000, he says. So which balance he has given? Cash book of the firm showed a bank balance. That means bank balance as per cash book he has given us. So we will start bank balance as per cash book. Okay, bank balance as per cash book. Bank balance as per cash book. How much he has given? 3000 he has given. 3000. Okay. See, out of the transactions which he has given, some transactions we might be adding to this balance, some will be deducting it. So what to add, what to deduct it, let's understand it with the help of the working notes so that clearly. So we will take up some working note here. Okay, these working notes only are for you people to understand the concept in the correct manner. If you are able to do it directly, you can do it, nothing wrong is there. Okay, so observe here. Checks have been issued for 25,000, out of which checks of 2,000 only were presented for payment. So for the first transaction, we are doing a working note. Think that this is your cash book. Okay, whereas this is your passbook. Always you should think that you are having some money in your account there. Above in other words, here in the transaction, how much money he has given, you are having more than that much amount in your account if you observe. Now here in this transaction, what is said, checks have been issued for 25,000. 25,000 check if you are issuing means you might be having, take for example some 30,000 rupees if you are having in your account. Then cash book will be showing debit balance, passbook will be showing credit balance. See, observe here. Checks have been issued. In other checks have been issued for 25,000. When you have issued the check, what it you will write? That particular party's name, account data to bank account. In other words, here in the cash book, you will be recording it here on the credit side, 25,000. Okay. What he says? Checks have been issued for 25,000, out of which checks for the 2,000 only were presented for payment. That means you have issued to a party 25,000 worth check there. Okay, so you will be assuming that he will go to the bank and he will cash it. As such, you have created here in your cash book. Whereas this out of this 25,000, only 2,000 were presented for payment up to this particular date. That means out of this 2,000 worth checks have gone to the bank there. Bank has made payment. How much? 2,000 if he has made. He will post it here on the debit side of the passbook. Now you observe here. Out of 30,000, your cash book is showing that 25,000 rupees have gone out. That means only cash book is showing a balance of 5,000. Whereas your passbook, if you observe, out of 30,000, 2,000 have gone, means remaining 28,000, passbook is showing it. Okay. Now observe, when you have started with this particular one, you should understand here. If you have started the problem with the cash book, keep the other book as constant. Now if you have started with the cash book, keep a passbook as constant. Okay. What is the meaning of constant means you are not going to change this particular amount, whereas this amount should be made equal to that much amount. So to this amount, what we should do? So that it will become 28,000. So for that we are drawing an arrow mark pointing towards the constant side. So 5,000 should be converted to 25,000. So to the 5,000, what you are going to do? You should add. How much you should add? Difference between these two. 28,000 minus 5,000. How much? 23,000. So 23,000 we should add. Okay, I hope you have understood this one. So below add, here we are going to write add What is that? These are checks issued but not presented for payment. I want you people to understand the sentence in a correct manner. Checks issued but not presented for payment. You have issued a check, but 23,000 worth of checks are not presented in the bank. So 23,000, you are writing it in the inner column. Okay, so this is for the first one, you have done it. Then second one, second working note. For each one we are drawing one cash book like this, one passbook like this if you assume it. Okay, whichever problem it is, you will be able to handle it with much more ease. Okay, yesterday I have told you in my introduction class, in the cash book if money is deposited we will be debiting it, whereas the money will be credited here in the passbook if it is deposited in the bank. When money is going out of your bank account, in cash book you will be crediting it, whereas in the passbook banker will debit it. There is a concept we are following it here. Observe the second one. Second, checks worth 700 were deposited on 28th March. That means what has happened up to this particular date, we are posting it in that one and we are checking it. So checks worth 700 were deposited on 28th March. How much? 700. So assume that you are having some 1000 rupees in your account there. So that cash will be showing debit balance, passbook will be showing credit balance. Now how we are assuming means how much ever you want you can assume the balance in your account there, but simply assume the amount to be more than that of what he has given in the transaction. So we are assuming here 1000 because he has given 700 in the transaction. See what he says, checks worth 700 were deposited on 28th March before this date. When they are deposited, you only will be depositing it as such in the cash book, you will be debiting it here 700. Okay, but had not been credited by the bank. That means these 700 are not credited here in the bank there. Okay, when they are not credited, passbook will be like this only, whereas cash book will be showing how much? 1000 plus 700, 1700, whereas passbook will be showing only 1000. Now observe here, our arrow mark should point towards the constant side, because throughout the problem we have started with cash book, so passbook we are keeping constant. This is the constant. Our arrow mark always should be pointing towards the constant side. That means this amount we are not going to change. This amount should be converted to 1000. 1700 should be converted to 1000. So what we should do to 17,000? So from this we should subtract. How much we should subtract? Difference between these two. How much? 700. Okay. So below less. These are add. Some items you will be adding it. Some items you will be subtracting it. So less what he says. Checks issued. Sorry, checks deposited. They are deposited, comma, but not credited. Credited in passbook. How much? 700. Now, in the same second day transaction, another working note you need to do it, because another transaction is also there in that one. Now for that we are doing this particular one. See, after full stop you can read. One check of 250 was entered in the cash book on 30th March but was banked on 3rd April 1998. That means after 31st March. On 3rd April it is banked, means it is deposited. The same concept here. How much? 250. So take some 300 rupees. Okay. 250 rupees check are deposit or entered in the cash book, means you have debited it here. Okay, but these are not created here up to this particular date. What has happened after this date, we are not going to post it here. So passbook will be showing 300, whereas cash book will be showing 550. What we should do? This 550 should be converted to 300, because this is kept constant here. Throughout the problem, passbook is a constant here. So 550 should be converted to 300. So from this we should subtract. How much we should subtract? Difference between these two. 250. Okay, so 250 less. So what you are going to write? These are also checks entered in cash book but not banked till this particular date. In other words, banked means they are not deposited in the bank. So 250. Next, third working note you see for third one. Checks. A check from Mohan for 200 was paid in on 26th March but was dishonored, and the advice was received on 2nd April 1998 it should be. It is printed wrongly, 1998. So a check from Mohan for 200 was paid in on 26th March. Where it will be paid in? It will be paid into the bank on 26th March. That means you have deposited check of 200 which you have received from Mohan on 26th March before this particular date. How much? 200. So let's take some 300 as minimum balance. Round figure we are taking it so that it will be easy for us to do the work there. So 300 rupees minimum balance we have taken. Now 200 was the check from Mohan, whatever you have received, you have paid into bank, means you have deposited. When you have deposited in the cash book, we will be debiting it here. Okay. But what he says, but was dishonored and the advice was given on 2nd April 1998. That means here, this particular check which you have deposited on 26th March in the bank there, banker he has received it, but he has dishonored it. Okay. He has dishonored as such, what will he do? Neither he will credit it nor he will debit it. Okay, simply he will leave it back because he has dishonored it. Okay, but we got the advice after 31st March there, as such in the cash book it is recorded, but in the passbook we have not recorded. It will not be recorded. Okay, see, if you would have received that particular advice before this date, you would have credited it here. So that we have not done because you have received the advice after 31st March. So cash book will be showing how much? 500. Whereas passbook is showing how much? 300. Now you can see your arrow mark will point towards the constant side. So 500 should be converted to 300. So to this 500 what we should do? From this we should subtract less how much? Difference between these two. 200 you are going to subtract. Okay. So below less. These are checks paid into bank, comma, dishonored, but the dishonor entry not done in cash book. How much? 200. Next, I am rubbing up this one. Let's take fourth one. Fourth one working note we are doing for fourth one. See, fourth, passbook showed bank charges of 10 debited by the bank. It also showed 400 collected by the bank as interest. That means here these two amounts are there in the passbook only. Passbook showed, he says. That means they are there in the passbook. So let's take some minimum balance of some 500. 500. What he says? 10 rupees are debited in the bank, he said. So you also debit 10 rupees here. And what he says, 400 are credited in the passbook. These two are not appearing here. So cash book will be showing 500. Whereas passbook, how much it will show? 500 plus 400, 900. 900 minus 10. Okay, that means nothing but 890. Okay, observe here. So this is kept a constant. So what we should do? Arrow mark will be pointing towards the constant side. 500 should be converted to 890. So to this 500 we should add. How much we should add? Because difference between these two, this amount should be converted to 890 means to this we should add. How much we should add? Difference between these two. How much it is? 90, 390. Okay, 890 minus 500 is 390. Okay, 390 if you add, then it will become 890. So below add there. So these are passbook, you can write like this, passbook debited with bank charges and credited with interest. So 390. Next, for fifth one we are, let's do one working note for fifth one. So this is cash book, this is passbook. Observe, one of the debtors deposited a sum of 250 in the account of the firm on 20th March. Intimation in this respect was received from the bank on 2nd April 1998. So what happened? one of our debtors, he has gone directly to the bank, he has deposited the money in the bank. When it is deposited the money in the bank there, it will be posted in the passbook only. Since that is the money which is deposited in an account, it has to be created there. But the intimation of that debtor depositing that money we have received after this particular date, as such in the cash book it is not posted. So how much amount? 250 is said. Let's take some 300 as minimum balance. Okay, 250 is created here in the passbook because it is deposited in the bank. Okay, whereas it is not posted here in the cash book. See, cash book is showing 300, passbook is showing 550. Our arrow mark should point towards passbook. Now what we should do? This amount should be converted to 550. So to this amount, okay, see, to this amount what we should do? We should add. How much we should add? Difference between these two. How much? 250. So 250 we should add. So simply what you will say? Amount directly deposited in bank by a debtor. How much? 250. Okay, I hope you have understood the working there. Now let's see. Now the problem is completed. So simply add up all the add items there. These three you added. 0, 9, 5 is 14. Carry 1. It is a 6. Then 3, 2, 23,640. Okay. Okay, 640. Then again add these two. It will be how much? 640. 3 plus 3, 6. 2. 26,640. One minute. Let me verify here. Okay, so total of this if you observe 0, 5, 7 plus 4, it is 11. Okay, so this is 1150. So if you subtract, this is less there, so from this you subtract this one, so it will be 0. Then again here 14, 14 minus 5 is 9, here 5, 5 minus 1 is 4, then again 6 minus 1 is 5, whereas this is 2, 25,490. So what is this? You have started your problem with the bank balance as per cash book. So this is bank balance as per passbook will be your answer. If you have started with the cash book, passbook will be your answer. If you have started with the passbook, cash book will be your answer. I hope you have understood this problem. Okay. Through the second problem. As I have told you, please go through the description. Then you will be knowing the problem there, what problem, which problem we are doing it, so that you will be able to follow me. See, prepare bank reconciliation statement. Second problem it is. Prepare bank reconciliation statement from the following for on 31st January 2013. So bank balance as per cash book he has given. So write down bank balance as per cash book. So since we are starting with cash book, in this problem we are going to keep passbook as constant. So let's take working notes. Okay. So for the first one, check it how we are going to do it. I want you people to follow this working note so that any problem given you will be able to handle it with ease if you know this working clearly. We are starting the problem with cash book. So keep the other book as constant. So we are keeping passbook as constant here. If you have started with the passbook, then cash book we have kept constant. See the second one. For the second one, we are doing the working note here. Checks amounting to 4,000 were issued on 28th January. Remember, we are doing on 31st January. Before this date, what has happened? That we are posting it as it is, how they are posted in those two accounts there. We are posting it and we are checking it what to do there. We are not doing anything against what is being posted there in those two accounts there. See, checks amounting to 4,000 were issued on 28th January. How much you have issued? 4,000 check you have issued. So assume that you are having some 5,000 rupees with your account there. Okay. You assume something more than that of what is given in the transaction. So he has given checks of 4,000 are issued. So we have taken 5,000 as minimum balance. So 4,000 when they are issued, what he says, checks amounted to 4,000 were issued on 28th January, out of which 2,400 were presented for payment in February 2013. Okay, so 4,000 checks are issued means here 4,000 rupees are credited here in the cash book when you have issued. Now out of this 4,000, what he says, out of this 4,000, 2,400 worth the checks are presented in the month of February. That means after this date. That means the remaining checks, if you observe how much are there, 10 minus 4 is 6, 3 minus 2 is 1. So 1,600 worth the checks are presented in this particular month only, in the month of January before this date. So 1,600 checks are presented in the bank means banker will make payment of 1,600 there. Because 2,400 checks are presented in the month of February, he said. That means out of 4,000, 2,400 presented in the February. The remaining are how much? 1,600. So the 1,600 checks are presented in this particular month only. So they are debited here in the passbook by the banker. Check it, 5,000 minus 4,000. Cash book is showing 1,000 rupees balance. Whereas passbook, how much it is showing? 5,000 minus 1,600. Okay. So how much? 2,400. So this 2,400. Now observe here, our arrow mark should point towards the constant side. That means this 1,000 should be converted to 2,400. So to this 1,000, what we should do? To this 1,000, we should add to make it equal to 2,400. How much? Difference between these two. How much? 1,400. So below add, you are going to write. These are checks issued, comma, but not presented for payment. I hope you have followed this working. Now observe this working for another transaction. For each transaction we are putting it there and we are checking it what to do. See third one. Checks amounted to 9,000 were deposited for collection. How much you have deposited? 9,000. So let's take some 10,000 rupees as minimum balance. Now 9,000 were the checks you have deposited in the bank means here they are debited here in the cash book by you. Okay. But checks of 3,000 has not yet been collected by the bank. That means out of this 9,000 worth checks which you have deposited in the bank, okay, 3,000 worth checks are not yet been collected. That means up to this date banker has not collected 3,000. That means see how much he has collected. Remaining 6,000 he has collected. He has collected means that amount is credited here in your passbook because they are the checks which you have deposited in the bank to collect. There banker out of that he has collected only 6,000 out of 9,000. Okay, that's why 3,000 checks are not collected, he says. So here passbook will be showing 16,000, whereas your cash book will be showing 19,000. Our arrow mark will point towards the constant side. Okay, so 19,000 should be converted to 16,000. So what we should do for this 19,000? Because this is kept constant, it will not change. This one should be converted to this much. So what we should do for this one to make it equal to this much? That's what we should check it out here. So 19,000 should be converted to 16,000 means from this we should subtract. So less, how much difference between these two? How much it is? 3,000. So below less, you are going to write below less. Below less items you are going to write checks deposited but not collected by bank. But not collected by bank, 3,000. Now next, fourth one. See, a wrong debit of 500 appeared in the passbook. So what he says, wrongly 500 rupees are appearing on the debit side of the passbook, he says. So we are not doing anything, simply we are putting it as it is and we are checking up what to do. So 500, he said, take some 600 as minimum balance. 500 are appearing here in the passbook, which is not there here in the cash book. So cash book will be showing 600, whereas passbook is showing 600 minus 500, 100 rupees. What we should do? 600 should be converted to 100. So from this we should subtract. Less how much? Difference between these two, 500. So here below less, passbook is debited with passbook wrongly debited. Passbook is wrongly debited. How much it is debited? It is debited with 500 rupees. Next, fifth transaction, you can see what we should do for this. Bank charges 10 were entered twice in the cash book by oversight. A nice transaction here. What it says? Bank charges 10 were entered twice in the cash book by oversight. That means by without your knowledge, what happened? 2 times you have recorded bank charges. See, you should understand bank charges. What are they? They are our expenses. Okay, money will go out for bank charges from your account. So how much is said? 10. Let's take some 50 rupees as minimum balance in your account. Bank charges in the cash book, you will be crediting it here because money will go out for bank charges. So what happened? He says, by oversight it is posted twice in the cash book, he said. That means instead of posting once here 10 rupees, how much you have posted? 2 times you have posted twice. Okay, the mistake is done in cash book only, but in the passbook it is correctly posted. That means in the passbook on debit side once it is posted here. It is something of this particular type. Okay, now observe here. 50 minus 10 minus 10. That means here how much it will be showing? 30. Whereas in the cash book, in the passbook, 50 minus 10 means passbook is showing 40 rupees. Okay, this is constant throughout this problem. So what we should do? Our arrow mark will point towards the constant side. So this 30 should be converted to 40. So 30 should be converted to 40 means to this 30 we should add how much? Difference between these two, 10 rupees. Okay, so below add. Cash book credited twice with bank charges by oversight. Now sixth one you see. Shall I rub these two? Sixth one I am doing it here. So cash book, passbook, this is kept constant in this problem. Observe for sixth one. A check issued to a supplier for 800 was not entered in the cash book. That means you have issued one check to one customer there. Okay, how much? 800 worth of check you have issued on the name of one person there, and it is not entered in the cash book. See, when he says it is not entered in the cash book, it means here when we are doing BRS, if he says it is not entered in one book, it means it is entered in the other book. Okay, so when he says it is not entered in the cash book, it is entered in the passbook. Where it will be entered? Now observe, when you have issued the check to one party there, that party will be presenting in the bank and they will cash it. As such, money will go out from your account there, so it will be debited here in the passbook. Okay, so it is debited here, but it is not credited here. So let's take minimum balance of some 1000 rupees in your account there. 800
that particular check is debited here in the passbook, whereas it is not credited here, the check which you have issued. So cash book shows 1000 rupees, whereas passbook shows how much? 1000 minus 800, 200. Our arrow mark will point towards the constant side. 1000 should be converted to 200. So to this 1000, what we should do? From this we should subtract. How much we should subtract? 1000 minus 200 means 800 we should subtract. Okay, so below less, what you will write? Check issued but not entered in cash book, 800. Now seventh one you see. See, interest on investments collected by the bank, 1000 was not entered in the cash book, 1000 is said. So let's assume that we are having some 2000 rupees in your account there. 1000 rupees are collected as interest on investments by the bank on your behalf. When banker has collected it, he will credit to your account. So that 1000 are credited here in the cash book, passbook, but they are not debited here in the cash book. So cash book shows how much? 2000, whereas passbook will show how much? 2000 plus 1000. It will show 3000. So observe here what we should do. 2000 should be converted to 3000. So 2000 should be converted to 3000 means to this we should add. How much we should add? Difference between these two. 1000 we should add. So 1000. So here we are going to add. So what you will say? Passbook. Passbook only is credited with interest on investments. Now the eighth one. See, passbook shows a debit of 175 insurance premium for insurance premium and a credit of 45 as interest for which no entries are found in the cash book. So when he says they are not, no entries are found in the cash book, it means they are found only in the passbook there. Now observe here. See, let's take a minimum balance of some 300 rupees. Okay. What he says 175 are debited here for insurance premium and credited with 45 rupees towards the interest in the passbook. Okay, these are not appearing here in the cash book there. So cash book remains at 300, whereas passbook how much it will show? 300 plus 45, 345. Now from that we are going to subtract 175. So how much it will be? 0, 14 minus 7 is 7, 2 minus 1 is 1. That means it will be showing 170. 345 minus 170 is 0, 14 minus 7 is 7, 2 minus 1 is 1, 170. So what we should do? Our arrow mark will point towards the constant side. Okay, so 300 should be converted to 170. So to this 300 we should, from this we should subtract how much? 300 minus 170. What is the difference there? So 30 means 200, 130 is the difference there. Okay, 300 minus 170, difference is how much? 130. Okay, so from this less, what we are going to write? Passbook only, passbook is debited with insurance premium and credited with interest. So totally it is 130, you are going to write it here. Okay, so this is how we have completed this problem. Now what we should do now here? See, we should do simply you add it up these three. 1400 plus 10 plus 1000, it will be 2410. If you add these two again, it will be how much? 0, 1, 5 plus 4 is 9, 8, 9, 10, 2, 20,000, 9, 10. Now these amounts, if you see, if you total it up, these four, it amounts to 4,430. Okay. See, this is less. These three we have added and we have posted here. Since this is add, we have added these two, this is the total. Add these four, this is the total. This is less. So from this, if you subtract this amount, you will get 16,480. Okay, so what is this 16,480? You have started bank balance as per cash book. With bank balance as per cash book you have started. So this will be bank balance as per passbook. Right? I hope you have followed me. Please go through the video more than that of once, because if you are doing for the first time, somewhat it appears somewhat complicated to you, this particular working. It is not that much complicated. Instead of getting by hearted, since if you are unable to imagine it clearly, you can do the problem in this particular way. The concept is very much simple here. If money is deposited in the bank there, in the cash book, okay, in other words, the businessman, he will deposit the money on the debit side, whereas in the passbook, bank should credit it. If money is going out of your account there, in the cash book it will be credited, whereas in the passbook it will be debited. Okay, so please go through the video coolly. One or two problems along with me if you are able to do it. Then doing this chapter is a very much what we can say, it is very much easy and you can do it with much more ease there. Okay, so still we will be taking out some 4 or 5 problems in this chapter there. The chapter will become very much easy to you. Please do subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends there. Okay, if you share it, it will be better, because there are many such type of people who are not getting the basics there. Okay, I want you people to share this with your friends, relatives. Okay, share, do like it, subscribe it.